Hi beautiful humans, welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. So today we are going to be talking about creeping plants. It's a very interesting video that I'm so excited to do. So if you are new here, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Here we're talking about anything real estate, anything that has to do with lifestyle. Basically lifestyle is part of real estate as well. Anything that has to do with cities, with homes and all. Yeah, so that is what we talk about in this channel. So subscribe if that is something that you would be interested in. Okay, so today I'm basically talking about creeping plants. What are some of the advantages of having creeping plants on your walls, and also what are some of the disadvantages? I was taking a stroll sometime this week when I saw this wall that had some creeping plants. I think I'll leave a video clip here that you can see. It had these creeping plants on it and I was like, okay, wow. Growing up, I remember so many people used to have these creeping plants on their walls, but as time has been going on, I've been seeing less walls having these creeping plants. Did people see some of the disadvantages with it or not? Okay. I felt like, okay, this is interesting. It's been a while since I've seen it. You guys, let me know. In your neighborhoods, do you have so many people that are still having creeping plants on their walls or not? I've seen plenty of pictures on social media like these and these that are having people even putting creeping plants on their homes. Yeah, okay, so what are some of the advantages of having these creeping plants? Number one is that if, let's say, you're having a wall that is, let's say, barbed wire, okay, that is barbed wired, and then you have these creeping plants growing all over. These creeping plants are basically going to give you privacy because it's going to grow all over and cover up. There'll be no holes whereby someone can look into the inside and try to invade your privacy. So basically these creeping plants are good for privacy. If you are not planning on putting a concrete wall, this is perfect. You can just use these and then you'll have the privacy that you need. And then the most important point of all is that they help to make the place look even more green. Yeah, so they basically give the wall more life. If you look at a house that has these creeping plants, it looks like it has a lot of life. Okay, and if the wall also has these creeping plants, it's just too much life that you're seeing, so it makes a place look even more green and also more lively. Another thing about these creeping plants is that they also trap dust. Okay, so before the dust actually goes to, let's say, your wall fence, or before it even goes to your house or anything, it's basically going to be fast trapped by these creeping plants, and chances are very high that it may not even go past them, past the wall and then into your house over to the inside. Another advantage about these creeping plants is that they're also not as expensive. They're not as expensive in the sense that if you don't want to invest in making a brick wall fence, you're not interested in doing something like that, but you have to buy sand, you have to buy cement, you have to paint, plaster and all. You can basically just use barbed wire, which could be cheaper, and then put the creeping plants in terms of having a wall fence that is more cost effective for you. Another one that is really, really important is that they also hide ugly walls. So let's say you have had your wall fence that you made out of blocks, block works, let's say, and it's now old, the plaster is getting old, it doesn't look beautiful anymore. So you can just touch it up a little bit by planting these creeping plants. Once they grow and cover all over it, no one will ever know that you once had an ugly wall. Okay, it will look even much better and more beautiful. Yeah, so basically this is some of the advantages. Now some of the disadvantages of these creeping plants that I think actually many people have noticed, and maybe that is probably why they are no longer actually doing them as much anymore. The very, very first one is that they actually damage the walls sometimes. Well, they damage the walls sometimes in the sense that they are plants. So it means they basically have roots. Okay, so the fact that they have these roots are going to penetrate through the wall, and if there is even any small loophole in the fence, on your wall fence, where the root can easily go into, it will enter. If it grows, the wider it gets, into break down the wall. So they're basically going to damage it, and some of them even just spoil the whole surface because the roots are in there. And then the fact that even the water that it is trapping, because they trap water, okay, they trap the water will basically stay locked there, so that the roots can, of course, take in that water. That means it's going to make the wall damp and then before you know it, it's going to become a weak wall. Yeah. Another disadvantage that is really, really interesting. I remember when I was younger, whenever we were working with my mom, and then let's say we found a wall that, let's say, has those creeping plants, okay, my mom would say, don't walk so next to it, there would be something hiding in there. And then it, comes next to you and all. Okay, so if they're not very, very well maintained, these creeping plants have a tendency of harboring those creeping animal, like, let's say, caterpillars. It may have, chameleons. It may even have snakes, actually, if it overgrows and it's too much and someone, let's say, isn't maintaining it. So basically you have to be careful about that. If you're not so careful, it could even enter your house, inside your house from the wall fence, and then they creep into your house. Another thing is that some creeping plants grow way too much, in that it can become wild and ugly. So if you have to invest a lot of money in maintenance, whereby almost every week you're trimming, all that gets a little bit hectic, I think. So unless you've signed up for it, it's what you want, then you can definitely do something. So basically those are some of the disadvantages of creeping plants as well. So before you actually decide to put creeping plants on your walls, look at your priorities. Are you mainly looking at its advantages, or are you mainly looking at its disadvantages? So look at your priorities. Talk to a florist, perhaps a florist that can advise you better and let you know which creeping plants you can use for your wall, how you're going to water them, how you're going to maintain them, so that you don't do it wrongly. You might want to have a green look, and then you plant certain creeping plants and then they die because maybe you're not maintaining them well. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed talking about it, because it's different according to what I've been talking about mainly on this channel, actually. Good day, guys, and enjoy yourselves.